idea of quote unquote truth. Okay, this is results as we see today. These are the results that we're creating, and that's what this story is about. This is real life results. This went viral today. This is real life right here. Okay, very, very important that we understand this. So with that being said, I really think that this is not a masterclass for parenting. It's a wake-up call for all of us, according to reports.
That it is a men's world, that she should keep quiet, she shouldn't disclose to
So
me.
the school authorities and personnel at school were threatening the girl not to talk, basically.
And my daughter was dying in silence, I didn't know. Every day when she's going to school, I'll be forcing her, Julian, come out. I'll be telling her, come outside. This child won't want to go to school. Even a teacher.
So then, allegedly, she was being bullied because of this news. Remember, allegedly, the school covered it up for a month, right? Okay, this is according to reports, okay?
Mr. Timothy, her class teacher was calling her a stupid girl, useless girl.
All right, so in Nigeria, I don't know, these days this kind of schools were supposed to be improved on how they handle kids. But yes, the way I was raised in Nigeria, teachers will call you stupid and useless. So things are supposed to be a little bit better in this kind of private schools where people pay a lot of money for their kids to go to. But quite different. You know, when there's crisis, people's true colors show. When there's crisis, people's true colors will show up, right?
Midst of other children, in the midst of other students. Please help me. They took this girl, took her to go and do pregnancy tests without me knowing.
So according to her, now the school has denied this. They took the girl for pregnancy test after they saw the video. They've been sharing the video that video leaked from the school. The school caught them. The video leaked from the school, according to reports.
The father knowing and lied to her that they were taking her for COVID test. They took her almost 3 times for COVID test. Please, is it possible? Do they use blood sample for COVID test? Do they use urine for COVID test? And I did not know, not until this thing came up. And to crown it all, because we have started confronting them, because we have started telling them that we are aware of what has happened, they now sent her a suspension letter. After I carried my daughter, handed her over to you, and you people were begging me that she should come. We paid
This is for the trip to Dubai, right? So she's claiming that she didn't want her child to go, but they were begging, and then she handed the daughter over to them. And this happened, right? But again, as we're talking, everything is still being painted as the child is innocent, right? But what did I say about children being innocent? No, they will test the boundaries, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of children have been exposed due to media, parents that don't have time for their kids, right? Parents that just are unfortunate, might know in certain unfortunate situations, some kids are just bad, right? But again, there are patterns. Because why? Because I'm a parent myself, okay? And a parent of a few kids, right? A few teenagers, right? And there are patterns. And if you're paying attention, they do have personalities and temperament. And if you have the right skill set, you can leverage your knowledge of that to actually build the type of human you want for the society. Yes, for the most part, you can. Never mind people that say there's no formula, blah, 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 nonsense. Okay? People that are saying that are usually people that have never picked up one article to read on parenting. Don't listen to those people, okay? There are absolutely formulas, okay? Now, applying the formula, you have to apply uniquely to every child because every child is, yes, different. But the number one is you have to be listening and paying attention to your child. That means you have to know them. You can't just beat kids without knowing them. It is stupid to do that. It's dumb, okay? You may be lucky, like some people claim that I turned out okay. Well, that's because that generation, a lot of kids were being beaten, that people didn't know any better. But right now, you're not going to help yourself. The world we live in right now has evolved, and these kids are smarter. You can't wait until 19 to give your kids sex education. That's just being dumb. It's 2022, right? Come on. Right? Come on. As early as 7, 9 years old, you should start having certain conversations about the body parts, private parts. There are ways to have this conversation in a way that you don't have to over pollute or overexpose your kids beyond their maturity. The point is that they're learning a lot more faster than you did at that same age, and you cannot be oblivious to that. You're not going to help you. You're going to hurt yourself and your kid by being oblivious to the fact that the world is changing on a daily basis. Oh, this worked for me, so that's stupid. That's just stupid. Okay. Anyway, let's finish.
A lot for her to go to that trip with you, and you got there, left them uncared for. Please help me. I need.
She's blaming the school for the child's conduct. Now, the school should be held accountable because they are children at the end of the day. From a legal standpoint, yes, they are children. They were supposed to be in the care of the school. So, in the grand scheme of things, the school will be held accountable, right? But let's talk about parenting, though. Let's talk about what child did you raise at the age of between 10 and 13? They're engaged in reverse cowgirl with other kids running a train on her. I'm sorry, that's what the report says. If that's actually happened for real, that is a big deal. That points all kind of fingers back at in all directions, all three directions: parenting, the society, and the school. All three. Right? In terms of being held accountable, we don't want to blame, because again, blaming does not help us get to the solution. But holding ourselves accountable, we can take account of how did we get here. It's parenting, yes. Yes, the school is full of shit. They charge a lot of money and they're not taking care of this kid. What's going on, Black Men Unfiltered? Thanks for stopping by, bro. Right? Parenting, the school, the society. Okay?
Help. I need help. My daughter is not okay. Please, I need help. If there is any way you people can help me, please help me. I need help, please.
So now she's shouting for help. She's shouting out for help. It's too late because this child will be traumatized for life, for a long time, at least. Everyone involved they're going to need some kind of therapy. Some kind of therapy, right? Now, here's the other side of things. She came out to make more noise about this situation on social media. When are people going to figure out that social media is not your friend? It's a tool. It's a double-edged sword. And if you bring your private matters to social media, people are literally just going to drag you and your family through the mud. That's all that's going to happen. Nothing particularly good is going to happen. Now, if you lost a child and you're looking for the child and you put out news and say, hey, I'm looking for this person, I understand. But you didn't lose a child. There was a crisis, but you're shouting out to the public to help you sort through the crisis. Please don't do this. Don't do that, okay? There's some type of attention that you don't want over your family, okay? One of them is social media. There's this bunch of weird people on the internet. See, you and I wants to drop this thing and we shut this thing down. We go about our life. We go spend time with their family. Some people leave here and basically they have nothing to lose, okay? And basically they're always looking for somebody's daughter to drag, okay? But now you've put extra attention on that video, which is a criminal. If you watch that video, you're committing a crime, by the way. If you spread that video, you distribute that video, you're committing a crime, by the way, right? But people are stupid. People are weird. They're gonna watch, they're gonna spread it. That's just the reality. That's exactly what went down today. The video went viral on Twitter with a child in it performing reverse cowgirl on another child pornography. Okay, so a couple of questions here that I felt like I want to ask you, and I want you to in the comment area when you're watching later rebroadcast, I want to hear what you have to say about this. Um, should we be blaming mothers for this? Why is it that a bunch of lame dudes are on the internet blaming the mother for this? Right? I understand holding the parent accountable. First of all, I already said blame game is 100% destructive. Doesn't really help anything. Doesn't help us get to any solutions. Right? Holding accountable, I'm all for it. Because holding accountable, if you're really doing it in the sense of holding accountable, you're taking account of how did we as a society go wrong, right? Oh, and by the way, a lot of kids have always been sexually active. If that's newsflash to you, if you were a virgin up to 26, sorry, that's newsflash for you. It's a reality, okay? So I understand that you may be surprised. That's surprised, but that's the reality. So I don't think blaming anyone is productive when there's crisis. It doesn't help anything. If you blame people, they go into their shell, they lie, they feel attacked, they defend themselves. But when you hold people accountable, you're coming from a place that's much more productive. How did we go wrong? What could we have done better or facilitate a certain type of environment to not create this result that we have created as a society, right? So I don't think it's a good idea to blame anyone, much less blaming the mother. Why? Oh, the mother is supposed to stay home and take care of the kids and just watch the kids and all this stuff, and suddenly, like, that's not parenting skill. No one is talking about parenting skills. Parenting is a skill set. It's not common sense. Most people that are parenting are doing it with common sense. Right? So, does homeschooling solve this problem? Homeschooling, does it solve this problem? Because I see a lot of people suggesting homeschooling, it's better to school an average human being cannot afford homeschooling. Okay? That's why there are institutions. That's why they created institutions. Okay? That's why there are institutions. That's the whole point. Listen, people that can afford homeschooling are doing exactly that. Okay? They're doing exactly that, right? Some of you are waking up to the idea like, I don't want my kids to be exposed. Like, yeah, they're going to be exposed regardless. You have an internet in your house, they're going to be exposed. Or you want to block them from using the phones, they're going to find other ways around it. That's not the solution. So what is the solution? Because we're moving into a new horizon. We're moving into a completely new world, new order, right? Every day, every second of our own doing, by the way, we did this. We want things to be faster, simpler, easier, faster, easier, simpler. You want to get to talk to someone that's all the way in Hawaii in a second. You and I want that. And these are sizable books. They're minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author. Those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. Not only do we want that, we're patronizing it, right? It's called technology. So no, just completely shielding your kids away from reality is not the way to go about this. It's a stupid way to go about it. Because they will simply find, just like you see hackers, right? Every time there's a new security, why is it that it's $1 billion industry for online security? Because every time somebody creates a new security, there's a new hacker. Because human beings will figure out a way to hack into whatever they truly want. So with regards to your children, it's better that you approach these things from a place of intentional rather, right? You need to be intentional about this. You need to make sure you're paying attention to all the variables, including your own sentiments. This is how I was raised, so I'm going to raise them that way. Nah, that's not how that works. You were raised in a different era, right? That is a variable that's bigger than you. You can't afford to swim against the trend. You will hurt yourself. If you're going to swim against the trend, at least know what the hell you're doing, right? At least Engage some parenting skill sets. Google a few parenting skill set tips here and there and stuff like that, and start digging through the rabbit hole. You may just find one or two things that you find useful. You may find other two things that's useless, yes. But you can't just sit in your own world of understanding. Lean not on your own understanding and just say, nah, I'm just gonna do it my way, just because you're being hard-headed, coconut head. That's why a lot of people are raising bad kids. A lot of these kids were beaten up already, and the rod is not working for that particular child. I'm not against spanking at all. But if you're spanking kids above 7 years old, I think you probably need some beating yourself. I think you've done a poor job if you need to spank your child who is already expressing themselves. Anyway, birth control shot for teenagers. This is one of the scariest things for people. Like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. I mean, do like black men, right? It's scary to all of us. I know. But you know, if you know your child, right? If you've paid attention long enough to your child, which most people are not doing, let's be frank, right? If you know them, there are some children that you may want to consider that, even at the age of 15 years, like daughters, like in terms of birth control shots and stuff like that. If you see your children moving a certain type of way, you may want to. Should you trust your child? Should you trust your children? I'm not sure that trust is relevant if you have to ask that question. If you're asking that question, you already don't trust your child, right? If you should I trust my child? Like, listen, if you trust your child, you just know because you've seen their behavior. It's a thing that's just there. You know that, no, I know my kid and I know how they can move. I know they cross the line certain times. I know when they push my boundaries, but I know them. I know that they're testing me and I know how to bring them back home, right? But if you're asking that question and you're being authentic and you're confused, there's a good chance you shouldn't trust your child. Kids, I'm being politically correct when I say can be narcissistic. I really actually think they're narcissistic. They only care about themselves. Okay? They only care about whatever, and especially if you've done a bad job, that you haven't really paid attention, right? So the first step is to pay attention. Start paying attention to how they move. Listen to beyond what they're saying physically. Yes, what they say is important, but what's even more important than that is what they're not saying. Right? Yes, I'm like my child, any one of the children that leave my house, teenagers, right? Literally all the way up to age 19. I'm opening their door. I knock one time, I'm coming right in. Right? Oh yeah, but I need some price. Nah, bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. For me personally, some people may feel like that's not woke enough. Whatever. Right? It's a courtesy that I knocked once, but I'm opening the door right away. Right? Now, am I always doing that? No. I give them the space. If they want to go to the park and play a little ball a little bit, do I have to follow them and have like what do you call it, trackers on them? No, that's not necessary. That's not going to help you do anything. You need to get into a space where you're able to trust them to an extent, because what you're doing a bad job if you can't trust them. It's actually working against you. You're gonna die of a heart attack. Something is wrong if you're really moving at that extreme where I just don't trust them. So I'm not sure if trust is relevant. I think parenting, like I said, it's a skill set. It's also relationship building. These people are going to become adults. They're going to leave you. So you're going to have a relationship that you will have with any other adult with them. So it's a lot of active listening that you have to do. Again, active listening does not mean you physically sit down and start listening to every word. It means you're paying attention to that person. That's a whole human being, right? They need to feel safe to run to you to ask for help. They need to feel safe to ask a few questions here and there. Should you plant some kind of fear in them? I think they should have some level of respect for authority. Is that what you mean by fear? I guess, right? But if you have sown so much seeds of fear in your child and they can't come to you and ask you question related to their private parts and sex, you've done a terrible job. Some people think the whip, the cane, the flog is supposed to do the sex education for them. That's just being stupid. Not in these times that we're living right now. Okay? So should you give your kids a phone? At what age should you give them a phone? Use your discretion for that. Okay? If they're old enough to watch a Netflix movie, it's okay for them to have a phone. It's not really that much of a big deal. Keeping the phone away from them is not parenting. That's not parenting. But teaching them how to handle a phone, teaching them the privacy issues that goes into using a phone, teaching them that yes, I am censoring your exposure to social media. We're gonna make sure that it says what age is supposed to be the appropriate age, right? To set the right settings on TikTok or any of these social medias that they're on to make sure that they're not exposed. That's parenting. Understanding that yes, there will be some loopholes, that's parenting. Having a conversation with them and say, hey, so how's your day going? This is spring break. What's your plan for spring break? Asking your 9-year-old, what's your plan for spring break is parenting. That's part of parenting. Making them feel free, learning how to ask quality questions to a child. So tell me about that. Do you have any plans? You're going to middle school right now. So tell me, what do you look forward to? This is what I asked my 11-year-old today. What are you looking forward to in middle school? What's the most exciting thing you're looking forward to in middle school? I'm not looking for the exact answer for that. I just want to engage them. I want them to feel free to talk to me. But some people, the only time they talk to their kids is when they want to correct something, right? They don't have the time for it. These are the issues that we're having in our society. These people are going to become part of the society, right? Spanking is not parenting. Spanking is just one piece of it. Like I said, if your child is already over age of 7 and you think spanking is correction, you need some spanking. You should be having conversation, engaging these children. And if they need correction, you should be using value-based systems. There should be repercussions. There should be consequences for bad behavior. It must be attached to something they value, that individual child values. The next child may not value the same thing. This next child may love game to death. This other child may just love TikTok. This other child may just only care about their allowances. You're not going to use the same like reward system for all children, right? That's just being, ignorant. Okay? But the same formula, you get it? But it's about finding what is it that this baby loves, what is their temperament, what is their personality. It's your responsibility as a parent to know those things. You see, woke is essentially two sides of the same bad coin. If you're extreme about traditional values, you're acting woke. It's just as stupid as people that are extremely progressive. Same thing. We evolve as human beings. That's the fact. That's the reality. And you can avoid reality all you want. But you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. That's the reality. I'm telling you the reality. I'm telling you reality not because of my idea of quote unquote truth. Okay? This is results. As we see today, these are the results that we're creating. And that's what this story is about. This is real life results. This went viral today. This is real life right here. Okay? Very, very important that we understand this. So with that being said, I really think that this is not a masterclass for parenting. It's a wake-up call for all of us. Okay? You know, some people were arguing, should you allow the community to raise your children? Should you all of that is irrelevant. It's 2022. Okay? The bottom line is that there's skill sets involved in parenting. And majority of people that are watching this video that have kids have never opened up an article about parenting to read one. Okay? You need to do better. Okay? Don't assume that what worked for you when you were raised 30 years ago will work today. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Get it? ASSUME, right? Assumptions are terrible. Gentlemen, assumptions are terrible. Yes, you should be involved in your child's life. It's not just fully responsibility of the mother. Not only should you be involved in your child's life, you should also engage your wife in how you will determine the structure you will build for them in terms of parenting, how you will come together as one force to raise your kids. That's your responsibility as a man. It's your responsibility to put that structure in there. Your wife will follow your lead. Yes, she will. She'll follow your lead. That's how these things work. Okay, so it's very, very important that you understand this, gentlemen and ladies too. You know, let's be a little bit more intentional with the way we do these things. Let me see here. Let me just make sure that the audio is working fine here. All right, let's be a little bit more intentional with the way we're doing parenting. Okay, and I don't know what that looks like for you in your world. But engage some material. Let's not just assume that the way it was done for us is going to work. It's the assumption for me. What worked for you may be different from mine, but don't assume. Stop the assumptions altogether. Thank you so much. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.